Oh, yeah. Welcome in, world. Welcome in. It is your favorite show, Views from the Stands, and I am your host, Stevie B, with my two favorite partners. I got the GM, G Mike, and Brandon BC, and we are live, baby. Man, that is so much fun to say, and we can't wait to hear from you guys out there. We wanted to start off by thanking everyone that has been joining us live. That's been a huge part of the show lately. We want to thank all the participation, and it's a blast being able to interact with everybody. Any newcomers to the show, welcome. You're always welcome here, man. We are Views from the Stands, and we are here to entertain and have some fun with some debates. Now, you might ask yourself, how do you get into the show? It's pretty simple. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Spotify. And if you got any socials, we're most likely there too. All you have to do is like and subscribe. And in the comment section, let us know your thoughts. You don't like a take? Let us know. You like the take? Hey, let us know that as well. But having said all that, man, let me introduce my two guys with me, man. We got G Mike down there. How you doing, my man?
Yo, feeling good. You already know. Ready for this game later. We already 1-0. We're about to be 2-0, baby.
There we go. And of course, we got BC, buddy. How you doing, playa?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, man. Like G Mike said, man, we want to know we about to be 2-0. We going to Alabama and Tuscaloosa, and we going to hashtag beat Bama.
Woo!
Oh, you guys play Alabama?
Yeah,
play Alabama, or you play a smaller school in Alabama?
Yo, 7 o'clock tonight. We got the
Alabama? Wait a second. You're not playing Greenbow, Alabama, like Forrest Gump, right?
No, man, we're going for the big dogs. We're going for University of Alabama. But
Alabama money line, baby. Alabama.
Let's say we come into their stadium. We playing them for pinks tonight, man. Let's go.
Pink slips.
Playing for pigs. All right, yeah. I'm sure there'll be some bruises afterwards. All right, man. So today we got a huge show for you guys, man. We got some news from around the world of sports. There's a lot of stuff going on. We got a new college football top 25 that we're going to react to. We have the Kansas City and Baltimore, Green Bay, Philly highlights. We got week 1 of the NFL, and we're going to go recap all of those. But before we do that, we have to pay some bills. So, G Mike, why don't you let the people
Yes, sir. Guys, you already know I run a Telegram channel where we provide daily sports gambling slips to get you from anywhere from $10 to $50 to $100 a day of winning. It's just $5 a month. So you'll probably see the link on the recorded episode. You won't see it right now. I put it in the comments though for you guys, or if not, just hit me up on one of my socials, DM me, and we'll get you going, baby, because your boy already hitting these last 2 NFL games, Thursday night and Friday night yesterday, babe.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that Telegram's doing great down there. BC, man, you got a great company too, man. Let the people know.
Hey, man, the missus and I, we got Brandes.media. We make memories that last a lifetime down here in Central Florida. If you or somebody you know has got that question they need to pop, or if they got that wedding that needs to be the top, give us a holler, give us a ring, whatever way you want to get a hold of us. We're online at Brandes.media. You can see our pricing plans. You can see any additional add-ons you guys want to have to make that special day, something that you remember for the rest of your life, for you or a loved one. Again, it's Brandes.media.
Well, speaking of something you're going to remember for the rest of your life, I am, for one, love making bets, and I am a man of my word. And if you guys tuned in last week, we both know that myself and George Mike had a big game last week, and unfortunately, I was way too much of a homer and took the Florida Gators to beat the much better Miami Hurricanes. And now I have to pay the price for it. If you didn't watch last week, unfortunately, I could not get a UM T-shirt or any kind of memorabilia. I'm sure if anyone wants to send it to me,
for him.
Thank you. If anybody wants to send it, I'll give you the address. That's fine. But I did make a promise that I was going to sing the Miami Hurricanes fight song if we lost, and possibly wear some memorabilia. I only got a part of that. So without further ado, I give you the Miami Hurricanes fight song. And just so you guys know.
Put your back into it.
Just so you guys know, I guarantee there was a lot of people out there that did not realize that Miami had an actual fight song as well. I had to do some research, and any Miami fan I asked for, like, we have a fight song? George, what did you tell me? It's probably a Trick Daddy song?
I was like, don't worry, we'll make you sing Trick Daddy. Take it to the house.
Yeah, and that makes more sense. I honestly, and like most people, did not realize that they actually had a fight song. So, yeah. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, here you go. Miami Hurricanes. Drive. Keep your Hurricanes. Keep right on going up that scoring. Miami Hurricanes. Drive on over the goal and the victory. M-I-A-M-I-A-M-I-M-I. Fight. And you are welcome,
I
ladies
need
and
more
gentlemen.
enthusiasm there, bro. We need to run that back. I need more enthusiasm.
No.
I think we'll lose subscribers if we run this one back, man.
Well, what you guys can't see is that like my wife was like listening to the show off to the side, and then all of a sudden she closed the door. She's like, "Oh shoot!" Like once she started.
Some people will mix of Fergie and Jesus. I don't know.
No, but let's just stick with Fergie, man. Like Fergie singing the national anthem at the All-Star game, bro.
Yo,
honestly, the way the national
anthem
has been going lately, honestly, that might have been just as good as some of the people that's been doing it, man. We've had some stinkers lately.
No, home run derby this past year was the worst.
Ergo that, right? So I am a man of my word, and I will keep up. And as you can see down here, I promise I'm still a Gators fan. Man, and Miami looked pretty good, though. I will give them credit where credit is due. Miami did look really good last year.
Yes, sir. And my boy Alex in the comments. You can't see the IG comments on here. We'll probably fix that either next episode or the episode after that for some reason. Can't see the Instagram comments here, but one of my boys, Alex, he was like, "You could sing Nuck if you buck." That's another one that you could have sung for sure. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of Miami songs we could have used instead of that one, but I tried to keep it tried and true for the Miami Hurricanes, and I made it an actual the actual fight song for Miami Hurricanes. So
I mean, too, George, like in a couple weeks we got against USF, so I mean, we make that wager again, man. We'll see. Like, I'll
laying down the gauntlet.
I'll do a little nugget.
Dude, man. Dude, I don't want to take your guys' lunch money, bro. I like you guys.
Oh no, man!
I don't want to do that, bro.
Our house, man. We're welcoming you guys. We'll happily give you.
It don't matter. We went to the swamp and we obliterated them.
All right.
They got.
We digress here, okay? We digress here. When it, and actually, Cam Ward. Speaking of that too, Cam Ward had a lot to say about the swamp afterwards too, saying that he's played in Pac-12 schools that are allowed in the swamp. It's like, okay, relax, man. Take it easy, man.
True. That could be true. But then again, you could just be saying that, to just get everybody riled up, really, on your side and the other side. So.
Yo, I had somebody the other day when I was working USF, one of my coworkers was like talking smack about the swamp. He's like, "Yeah, it's like one of the worst stadiums I've ever been to." Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, there's a lot of history behind that place." But he was just like, "Oh no, man." I'm like, "Oh, my boy Stevie B's not gonna like you."
Yeah, no, that's definitely false. It is not one of the worst. It is a little bit old, but they're going to be upgraded. But the swamp, if you ever been there on a good night, it is one of the loudest places you'll ever be on.
I had no clue that it started off. I think it was like I want to say it was like in the 20s or 30s it was built, and then I think I think he said it started off as like a 20,000 seat stadium, and now it's like it's over 90K. Like that's incredible.
Yeah. Shout out my boy BG. He say we drained the swamp. You heard?
Oh yeah,
great.
Yeah, I thought the two rules were no politics in sports and bars and food from the stands. How about that? All right.
Hey, if we can grab a little.
Relax.
I wish we could see the comments here, man, from IG. That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah, maybe I don't. Having said that, though, Miami's had a big time this week, man. So the Dolphins have made Jalen Ramsey. The Dolphins and Jalen Ramsey have agreed on a new deal, making him the highest paid cornerback in NFL history. It's a 3-year, $72 million contract. The $24.1 million will make him the highest paid corner in the league. In the 10 games that Ramsey played in 2023. He had 5 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, and a QBR average of 52.9 when throwing to his side of the field. Ramsey is 29 years old. BC, I know you're a huge fan of the defensive side. What's your thoughts on Miami signing him to this deal?
I mean, it's about time. He's always been, one of the best, if not the best cornerbacks in the league for the last 3, 4, 5 years, especially – going over to the Rams, joining that squad, bringing them a chip there, and then coming over to Miami. It was one of those where, for me, I was like, I'm surprised that he hadn't had that kind of signing a little bit earlier on. He's getting closer to 30. That's usually when you start seeing some corners kind of fall off here and there, especially ones that rely on a lot of athleticism, which he does to a certain extent, but he's also grown and evolved a lot as a player. He's very cerebral now. He's got a lot more field awareness and vision than I think he did when he was a younger guy, but no, Jalen Ramsey being the highest paid corner, to me, it's not a surprise. The only surprise is how long it took for them to come to this deal.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it honestly, whenever I saw the headline come up, it sounded like a throwback, like from 2018 or something like that. This would happen, not in 2024, But honestly, G-Mike, man, Ramsey still is pretty damn good, man. You like the deal for the Dolphins?
I love the deal for the Dolphins. And he proved himself last year. He had that that knee injury. People thought his career was going to be over, but next thing you know, this guy's working his tail off to try to get back. He comes back in what 11 weeks, right before like December even started. Like the guy's an animal. He comes back, he gets a pick in the next 2-3 games. Almost had a pick six that Coach McDaniels was making fun of and all this stuff. So he proved himself to be, he's always proven himself to be a top corner, intelligent, very aggressive, very tough. He's always on the prowl. He doesn't care who's in front of him. He's gonna want that competition all day, every day, and it's very well deserving. They should have done it sooner for sure. I agree with BC. They should have done it sooner. I don't know why they waited so long, but maybe they just wanted to see how the whole season was going to play out, how much of a leader he was going to be, and which he is a great leader. And like now you got all these pieces on the secondary, and you're like, you know what? We gotta keep our captain happy and sane, and let's give him this money, man.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with what you're saying on here too. And honestly, Ramsey's never lacked for confidence. Even as he's getting older, he's still, if you just ask him, he'll let you know he's still one of the top corners in the league. So it's an interesting stat that I found out. Since coming in the league in 2016, there's only been 4 other players that's been voted to more all-pro teams, and they're all Hall of Famers. It's Deion Sanders at 6, Rod Woodson at 5, Darrelle Revis at 4, and Willie Brown at 4. And he's right there with that company in there, and they're all Hall of Famers. So it's pretty amazing company to be in. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good move for the Dolphins. They need that help in the secondary, and I obviously, if you guys have been watching too, I have a lot of high hopes for the Dolphins this year. So good signing for the Dolphins to shore up some of that defense, because that offense is obviously amazing. So moving on to some more drama we got here, man. The Cincinnati Bengals and Jamar Chase are experiencing some continued troubles here, man. We really thought this was going to be over by now, and it is not. And Jamar Chase is now threatening to sit out for the season opener. And honestly, they need him bad. T. Higgins is already coming in hobbled. That's pretty much every week it sounds like that happens, but T. Higgins is coming in hobbled. And Jamar Chase had an interesting quote. When a reporter asked him if he wants to make at least a penny more than Justin Jefferson, his former LSU teammate, he was quoted by saying, if I beat Justin, I want to beat the shit out of him. So Jamar Chase is taking a stance and not playing any games. Mike, man, what's going on with this one, man? Are they playing with fire still, man? We thought this would be done.
They're always playing with fire, man, when they don't pay their top dogs, man. Like any team, really. Like the same thing was going with the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb, man. It's like you're taking so long to pay the player that you're going to pay. If the Cowboys would have paid CeeDee 2 months earlier, they probably would have to drop less than what they did. And the same thing's going to happen with Jamar Chase now. Now he's going to want to be the number 1 paid receiver. They're going to make it happen. Don't think otherwise. Don't have this delusion that they're not going to give him his money. They're going to give him his money. And especially that T. Higgins is out first week. Jamar Chase wants to play. He's out there on the field supporting his guys. At the last practice that they had, he suited up. He wants to play, but pay the man, bro. Stop going on with all this drama. Stop leading these people on. Stop leading your fans on. Stop leading NFL fans on. You know damn well you're going to pay your top receiver who's going to help Joe Burrow get out there and try to get back to another Super Bowl. Stop playing games.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree. BC, buddy, they're in a very interesting spot, man. They haven't really drafted too much for wide receiver, and they have a drama with their other wide receiver, man. What do you think the Bengals are doing here?
I mean, they're costing themselves a chance to keep Jamar Chase long term. Again, it's one thing to try to renegotiate contracts and stuff after you've had a certain period of time with a player. If they're maybe on their, third contract with your fourth, and you've established some rapport, you've established that good faith connection with them. But it's another thing entirely when this is literally going to be like the end of his rookie contract. This will be like his first major extension with the team. And you're kind of, just holding feet to the fire, fumbling the bag in a sense a little bit. You have to, show him that, hey, we value you, we respect you, we want you as a part of this team, and kind of messing around with these numbers just for the sake of doing it. Again, especially because he's a young player. He wants to be shown that you guys are loyal to him. It could be something that can shoot you in the foot long term. Again, this is not somebody that's been with the team a la Mike Evans for a decade plus, that there's goodwill behind the negotiations. That a contract's going to be made to take place. We just need the proper time and negotiation abilities to do it. So, Cincinnati playing with fire right now, and they keep doing this long enough, they're going to get burned long term.
Yeah, the only issue I have with the situation they have going on in Cincinnati is the fact that Jamar Chase has 2 years left on his contract. So I almost kind of feel like he's taking this big grandstand a little bit too early. I feel like this should be a next year problem to be trying to sit out. You have what you granted, everybody wants their money, and he's definitely earned it. And, he's been an all pro pretty much ever since he's been in the league, multiple Pro Bowls. So it's not the fact of the talent. I just feel like that he's kind of on the wrong time for it, that it should be probably next year opposed to this year, making the stand that you're not going to play. Because technically they're like, well, play or not, you're still going to be here for 2 years, So I kind of feel like he's jumping a little bit ahead of it, but I understand why and get that money, man, because a lot of wide receivers got paid, and especially his former classmate, Justin Jefferson, who was breaking records as well. So that's definitely an interesting situation out there because let's face it, if Jamar Chase goes anywhere, he's scooped up within 5 minutes, So
Exactly.
Anybody making trades for him.
And that's why he wants the money, man. And that's why he wants the money, because it's the security blanket behind it, bro.
Yeah.
Like these guys are going out there running 110% every single play. They could mess up an ankle, they could mess up a knee, they could get hit so hard that they get a concussion, get out of the game. They want the security blanket, bro. That's what it is. Obviously, they want the money too. Don't get it twisted. But it's a security blanket. If they get injured, they want to be compensated. That's point blank.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with you too. And I think the only thing that's been a slight issue for Jamar Chase is definitely not the talent. It's that he's been a little bit injured. It seems like every year he's had something, his worst coming. And I believe it was the 2022 season where he only played 12 games. Last year, I want to say that was probably his longest as far as staying healthy. And prior to that too, he came in a little bit injured as well. So I think that's the only downfall in his game is that he's been slightly injured. But overall, just an absolutely amazing talent. And I think that they need to stop messing around and get that man his money before they mess up my AFC North pick.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if I'm more worried about Jamar Chase or me being wrong about who I picked to win the division.
I mean, after last week, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the latter, not the former. So
yeah. I need to act like I know what the hell I'm talking about a little bit up here, So
I will say though, man, those wide receiver, those LSU wide receivers, man, you don't mess around with them, man. You get them paid, you get them taken care of. Otherwise, peace.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. Staying in that division, actually, the AFC North has some interesting news as well, as quarterback Russell Wilson is unexpected to play with a calf injury this week going into week 1, meaning Justin Fields might get the start. And we had this conversation a couple weeks ago talking about, is this the right move? I think the players kind of wanted Fields. So I don't know. I mean, who do you guys want to see playing out there right now? G. Mike, what's your thoughts?
Before we move on, I got my boy here on IG. He was saying that Chase is about to get paid. If the NFL won't care, if he gets hurt, it's a business. They will move on. They don't care, which is true. They don't really care. But the thing is that if you're an owner and you want your team to be successful, if you want to bring a championship to your organization and to your city and on all that good stuff, you got to pay your top players that are going to get you there, bro. If not, there's really no point unless you're out there just trying to make money. You're like, whatever, I really care. If he wants to leave, he wants to leave, whatever. We'll bring in someone else. At the end of the day, I'm still getting this money, and that's it. So, yeah. But just with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, man, I really think that they should go with Wilson first. He's the older guy. He has more experience. He knows how to win games. He's been to the playoffs. He's been to multiple Super Bowls. He's a Super Bowl champion. Last season, he had a good season. It wasn't even that bad. He was in the middle of the pack of starting QBs. I think he was like top 15. If anything, maybe even top 10 when it came to stats. And dude,
yeah, I mean, I brought up to you as well. He had less interceptions than Patrick Mahomes did. I mean, if that says anything,
that doesn't say anything because Patrick Mahomes is throwing the ball 40 times a game. Like when Wilson is throwing the ball 18 times a game. Yep. It's not.
Wait. So you mean to tell me that Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes aren't the same? Wait, I mean, come on. He had 2 less interceptions. I thought that's what numbers do.
Negative. They're not the same at all. Not the same at all. Well, nonetheless, though, man, I think that they should start Russell Wilson. I don't think they should go with Justin Fields first. Justin Fields is the younger dude. He has more years ahead of him. Put the older guy in first. If he does trash, bring in the younger guy. Because if you go with the younger guy first and he does trash and you bring in the older guy, now you're going to ruin the younger guy's confidence going into next season, the years after that. Obviously, they only have him on a 1-year deal, but you want it to pan out, right? Obviously, every player that you have in your squad, you want them to do good for the organization, for your success, all that good stuff. So you're going to want Justin Fields to do good. So why not bring him in when the old guy starts doing bad, and then you can let the old guy go. You let the new guy get his confidence. You let him get the rhythm with everybody, the chemistry with everybody. And next thing you know, this guy's bringing in wins for you guys.
Yeah.
They always have a good defense. So you're always
Right,
going to
they
rely
do.
on your defense. So if you let the young guy later on and start doing work, and he starts doing work, now you're going to want to thinking about, oh, let's keep him for next year. Let's keep him for the year after that, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest problem right now is that Wilson is dealing with a slight calf injury, so it's kind of up and down. BC, what's your thoughts on the hot hand approach when it comes to quarterbacks? Because it sounds like that's what Pittsburgh's kind of in a spot right now. If Fields comes out, balls out, has a great game, do you stick with the young gun and let it see how it works, or do you go back to the veteran if Wilson is ready to go? They both signed him to cheap deals, so it's not like there's a money involved in this one.
Yeah, there's really not. And again, I will say this, like, forget about the hot hand, just do the healthy hand, whichever one is actually going to get you, which is actually going to make it to the game. You gotta start. And as far as like with the nature, some people say, oh yeah, it's just a calf injury, he'll be fine. Like, yeah, it's just a Charlie horse. Like, you have no idea of the nature, like how bad of a strain, sprain, like it could be. And if you're a quarterback, your calf is a very important part of your game because you're planting off of it, using it to drive the ball. It all starts from the ground up, and that calf is a major part of getting that ball, that oomph that it needs when you're throwing, going through the motions. So, that's something where, yeah, you signed them both to cheap deals. You kind of did expect there to be kind of a fight for the position. So I think that if you're smart about it, you sign Russell Wilson to a cheap deal, you're not really going to miss a whole lot if he misses a game or two. And if Fields does really well and proves himself, there's no long-term investment in either option. So I think this is the case because both are signed to such relatively cheap deals. You can kind of get away with riding the hot hand for a little bit. And, if Fields balls out and does great and Wilson just can't seem to get the starting quarterback job back, then ultimately that's on him. And at least now you've got a guy in the starting lineup who not only that the players like, but also too the fans are going to like if he gets you some wins, if he balls out. It's a win-win situation. So, and why would you sabotage that just because you're going off of a guy that has past success? Like, yeah, as great of a quarterback as he was, and even a solid season he had last year, if the players like him, if the fans like him, I would say, and if he's doing great, just keep Fields in. Like, ride it out. Why not?
Yeah, and I hope to see that with Pittsburgh, with the way they're set up right now. It would be kind of cool to see them run different plays for both quarterbacks. Each one of them brings something a little bit different. I think Wilson has definitely the better accuracy, but I would say that Fields is without a doubt more athletic at this point in time, and even ever. So I think it'd be kind of cool if they were able to run them both out. And hell, I think Wilson. If injured a couple games, you never know. This could be the end of it and make him the permanent backup. So we'll see how it goes. That's TBD, and we have a lot of football to get to, obviously. But we're going to go ahead and leave the pro game and go to the college game as the new AP Top 25 poll is out. And surprise, surprise, Georgia is still on top and look damn good. Man, I will be honest though. We were texting back and forth during the Georgia Clemson game, and first started going into that halftime. I probably set the jinx on Clemson because I texted the boys and was like, "Damn, Clemson's hanging in there. Like, this is an actual game." I want to say it was 10-3 or something along those lines, or it was still within grasp, to put it that way.
Dude, I was waiting for.
They were giving them some hope.
Yeah, exactly.
They were letting them have faith.
Exactly. Georgia came out second half, obviously dominated and just took it over the game. But there were some risers in the poll. And Mike, man, your Miami Hurricanes were the second largest team to make the jump. They went from 19 to number 12, man. How you're feeling about the Canes this year, bro? They're looking good.
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. But BC wanted to mention something real quick. BC, go ahead.
I was just going to mention, like, the second that Steve texted us that, I was just like,
oh, yeah, it was the jinx.
And they're going to fall off a cliff. And then sure enough, I was like, what was it, like 10, 20 minutes later? They're like, yeah, just jinxed them. I was like,
yeah. I was at the gym when he wrote that, and I'm like, oh yeah, now they're gonna win for sure. They're gonna win for sure.
I used to get the nickname in fantasy football as the fantasy reaper. If I drafted you, I think if I like the PA system, and then like the players are freaking out because I drafted them because they were bound to get hurt now or something. But
that needs to be your nickname underneath the banner, like hashtag fantasy reaper.
The Reaper, yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. So who isn't getting reaped on right now is your Miami Hurricanes. Mike, what's your thoughts?
Bro, man, I'm feeling really good about the Miami Hurricanes. We've always had a good running back room. We've always had a good defense. We've always had a good team overall. But what we haven't had in a long time, maybe like 20 years, is a good quarterback, man. And we finally have a good quarterback. This guy is top 5 in the NCAA Division I football right now. This guy is a candidate for the Heisman Trophy right now. Obviously, we're still in week 1. There's a lot of football left, but there is a lot of hope going behind this guy, Cameron Ward. And, bro, he was just lights out against UF. Today he plays Florida A&M. I'm pretty sure he's going to have another huge game against them. And just going down the whole season schedule, man, I'm really excited for what's to come. Like I said, we haven't had a quarterback in like 20 years, man. And to finally get a quarterback when we have top-notch receivers, top-notch running backs, great offensive line, amazing defense, it's just coming all together, bro. And for us Miami Hurricanes fans, bro, you know, we've been waiting for this for a very long time, since I've been a little kid. And, man, we are very excited for it.
Yep. Honestly,
yeah, no, I agree. Cam Ward definitely looked good. Honestly, I don't know if it was a result of Florida just not being dominant at all in the line, because Cam Ward was literally sitting around crocheting back there looking he had so much time, man. He was just looking around and had everywhere to go. So I don't know if it was just Florida's defense was that bad or Florida's just not that great. But he did look very good. Restrepo was amazing out there. I found an interesting fact that I found during the telecast that I found out as well is they have 3 players that are up for the best wide receiver in college. That's amazing to have 3 guys all on the same team that are all up for that award. So Miami looks damn good out there. I'm not going to lie. So shout out to the Hurricanes, man. It's been a long time since you can actually say that one. The other big mover was the Trojans, who pulled off that upset against LSU, and they looked really good out there too, man. So. BC, what's your thoughts, man? Any of the Miami Hurricanes or anybody that pressed you during the week 1?
No, I mean, like, you know, I will say Miami probably was the biggest one that impressed me. Like, I thought for sure that game was going to be a lot closer than it was. And just kind of looking ahead a few weeks, I know I kind of teased it at the top of the show, but, you know, USF versus Miami, you guys are really great in a lot of areas on offense that for us as a defense, we kind of struggled with to deal with last year. Turnovers and pressure on the quarterback. Those are going to be things that are going to be really tested for them this year. You know, obviously, you know, defense looked fantastic playing against Bethune-Cookman. Like, who wouldn't? You guys are going to look fantastic against Florida A&M. But I am interested in seeing how, you know, our pass rush has improved, if we're able to generate any pressure on Ward. And then also, too, if our defensive backs are able to kind of read him a little bit and they're able to maybe get a turnover, too. It's going to be interesting. Like, I'm confident just because, again, like, you know, I'm always going to be the homer, but I will say the one thing that's always been our struggle is going up against elite quarterbacks. So, you know, going up against you guys and then obviously going up against Milroe tonight, it's going to be a really good test to kind of see how far USF has gone this year. So Miami, y'all looking good. Y'all have got a really great squad under your belt. So it's going to be a good season for you guys, I think.
Yes, sir.
So you alluded to it a little bit. You alluded to it a little bit ago, man. So are you going to go ahead, because it's a couple weeks away, are you going to go ahead and lay the challenge down USF Miami?
Of course I am. Like, why not?
No challenge there.
I mean, even I will say this. Even if I lose, like, you know, the bar.
No, you're going to lose. There's no if.
No, there's always no. I'm just saying, like, if we happen to lose this one and I got to sing like the fight song, I got to sing some song, the bar's already set incredibly low for me. So how worse can I be?
Wow.
No, it's going to be a different bet. It's not going to be the same bet. It's going to be
oh, come on.
It's going to be a different bet. There's no same bets like here.
Dang it, man. This has been working with me singing this whole time, man. I was ready for this. Dang it.
By the way, my voice was amazing. By the way, it's not my fault. Miami is good, so maybe Miami doesn't have to be good, and I won't have to sing for you. Then is that a fair trade, G Mike?
Next time you got to put on some shades. You got to have a microphone in your hand, and I got to see the veins popping out your neck while you sing.
You got to give it to Michael Jackson.
Oh man, yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what when you're trying to get subscribers and everything, that's exactly what they want to see is me up here trying to do that. Yeah, that sounds like great content, guys.
We want more Steve singing.
Yeah, man. Oh man, I love it. Yeah, so we also are going on, and I got to give a shout out there to Mr. Steven Brennan. Man, that name also sounds awfully familiar because it's my dad. So thanks for watching out there, Dad, and first time caller, long time listener. Great show. Thanks, man.
Is Green Bay Super Bowl hopes over? Ooh,
man.
Dude, man, no lie. I was watching the game yesterday, right? A couple of my boys on Discord, and we're looking at the ankle because one of my boys has said that it was the ankle, which come out reports today that he might have a high ankle sprain. But then you look closely and his left knee just popped out of place, man. I don't know if it was severely so bad that it was popped out of place and he couldn't pop it back into the place. But to me, it looked like they popped it back into place because of the way that he was able to walk off the field. Because if that happens, and that knee is just out of place, you're not going to be able to walk. You're not going to be able to put pressure on it. So it was a good sign that he put pressure on that leg, Jordan Love. Now we just got to see. He just like BC has said earlier. I think before we started the show, I think he might be out next game for sure.
Yeah.
Just let's hope that he's not out the full season because if they got to depend on Malik Willis, I know you guys saw what Malik Willis did in those three snaps.
No, that was definitely not. That was the opposite of good.
God, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead, BC.
I was just gonna say it's one of those things where you don't want him to be out long term, but it's like if you need to rest him for a few weeks because high ankle sprains, people just think, oh yeah, it's just an ankle sprain. Like you roll your ankle, and that's all it is. Like no, it's a lot more than that. A sprain is it's a tear, but it's not a major one. It can keep you out for a few weeks. So. You just signed the guy to a large contract. You really want to rush him out there way too soon, and then he gets hurt and he's out for the rest of the season. If not, maybe part of next season, depending on how bad he could re-injure it. Ride with Willis if you have to for a little bit. Embrace the suck for the next few weeks. But then after that, when Love comes, when he's properly healed and stuff, and that's if it's a high ankle sprain. That's if we're going off of potentially worst case scenario. So, but if it's just a regular, he'll be back by next week or be back in a couple weeks. You just got to do what you got to do and just hope for the best.
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely going to get into a lot more with the Green Bay and Philly game, too, because that was a hell of a game as well. So we're going to go ahead and make that transition back into the NFL because, damn it, it is back tomorrow, and we are so damn excited. But we also had a very important game on Thursday night, and boy, that was a hell of a Thursday night game for the NFL to kick it off. It was a rematch between the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC. That was the championship game, man. And oh man, there was some fireworks in this one. There were so many different angles of this game. How to check it out. The Kansas City Chiefs were able to come out on top, 27-20. Patrick Mahomes threw for 291 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception, and a QBR of 69.1. Lamar Jackson had himself an interesting game as well, throwing for 26 of 41, 273 passing yards, 16 rushing attempts, and 122 yards, averaging 7.6 carries yards per carry. Man, that is you got to be freaking tired after that one, man. I don't know how the cardio, you can't prepare for that, and plus throwing and have to call the play. So shout out to Lamar Jackson for having some insane amount of cardio. But that really wasn't the whole thing of it, man. G Mike, what was your takeaways from this game to start it off, man? There was a lot to unpack with this.
Dude, the Ravens came out that first drive just taking the ball down the field and demanding respect from the Chiefs defense, right? And then after that first drive, it was like they went to Derrick Henry. They gave him the ball like 4 or 5 times in that first drive. He ended up scoring at the goal line, at the 3-yard line. And they had great momentum going into their next offensive series. Yes, the Chiefs came out and scored as well, tied the game. But when they come on that next offensive series, it's like their whole dynamic on offense just shifted. They went away from running the ball with Derrick Henry. The offensive line couldn't block for shit. That was the most upsetting thing that I saw the whole game is that offensive line did not come to play compared to that defensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. They were getting dogged in the trenches. They weren't doing anything. Lamar Jackson couldn't step back in the pocket for more than 2 seconds to throw the ball, which is why he kept running the ball the whole game, which is why he had 16 carries for 122 yards, because he had a playmaker and he had to show everybody, I'm going to put this team on my back, because if not, we're going to lose by 2 touchdowns.
Well, the interesting thing, you brought up the offensive line as well. How about that? The NFL enforcing the new offensive line call as well. Everybody always says they always make rules to change for the offense, but the defense needed some help too. And that new rule is going to be a major thing. It was quite annoying, but I understand why they're doing it. How many did Stanley? How many penalties by himself did he get? 7 by himself? So that was a humongous part of this game, is that they could not line up, and every single time they kept on getting negative yardage. So that was a major factor as well. I don't know. The NFL has said to me that they're going to make it an issue to actually start calling that one. So be on the lookout for that this season, that you're going to see a lot more of those calls.
Mm-hmm.
No, and the other thing was that they gave so many calls to the Chiefs. It's like the Chiefs are the New England Patriots with Tom Brady, bro. They're trying to protect Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs so much that it's getting annoying, man. Like, there was so many calls that they could have had against the Chiefs that they didn't call. There was one particular play that the guard and the right guard and the right tackle both face masked the D tackle and the defensive end on the same play, and you saw it on live TV because they stopped it and everything, and they still didn't make the call, man. And there was like 3 times that the right tackle, he false started, and the refs didn't make the call, man. It's just like, dude, like, stop protecting these players and these teams just because they're so great. Call a fair game, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, BC, man, that's a lot to unpack in this game, bro. What's your thoughts?
Really is. I mean, before we go any further, can I just get you to repeat what Mahomes' QBR was for that game? What was it again?
Is QBR for the game?
Yeah.
Honestly, 69.1.
Nice. Anyway, that being said, let's repeat that one again.
Yeah, but he had 20 completions on 28 attempts.
Yeah. I'm going to echo George's sentiments a lot when it comes to the Chiefs and getting favorable calls and everything. I understand it's a very marketable team. Obviously, 2 or 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. You know, you've got the best player on the planet. You've got the best tight end on the planet. You got the biggest pop star on the planet is not only a fan of the team, but is also dating the best tight end on the planet. So we get it. They're bringing in the NFL lots of money, and you want to see them succeed, but you don't need to cheapen it by continuing to help them the way you are. You really don't. If they're as great as they say they are, you can call a game down the middle, fair and square, and they should be able to win. And to be honest, that's what we do see a lot of times with them, is that they have what a lot of teams like the Ravens right now do not have: championship pedigree. It's that ability to, even when you're down, even when you're trailing, or even when a team is red hot, they're coming down the score, they keep their calmness, they keep their composure. And even when they scored on that one, they still were able to do just enough, obviously getting them out of the back of the end zone, slightest margin. Like, you were able to kind of force their hand, and they were able to just barely eke it out. They have that calmness, a championship pedigree. So don't cheapen it, refs, for the love of all that is football.
So it sounds like you guys are really that effective, that you think the Chiefs didn't necessarily win, that the game was handed to them. Is that how, that's the vibe I'm catching for you guys? Because I think the Chiefs definitely came out there and played.
That's not what we're saying at all. That's not what we're saying at all.
No, it's not that. It's just saying that, if you're a ref, pay attention. We're just telling the refs, do your job. And that's sad to say, but you have fans literally been telling the refs since the beginning of time, do your job. That's all we want to see. Do your job, boy.
It's not even that. They're doing their job. It's just that when it comes to the Chiefs, they're acting like they didn't see something on purpose. And it's dude, man, you need to call it fair on both sides, man. You can't just be calling it fair for them because they're back-to-back champs, and Patrick Mahomes is the next Tom Brady of the era. Yeah, he got 3 Super Bowl champions and all this stuff, but man, it doesn't matter. Call a fair game, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got comments out there saying as well that it reminds a lot, like you were saying earlier, of the Patriots and how Brady started to seem like he was getting all the calls.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, besides the calls in the game, really, there was definitely some interesting stuff going on too. So you noticed that Lamar Jackson looked a little bit different than he has in the past. Lamar Jackson looked like he was a lot more in control of the offense. Yeah. Random question though, do you think that's the right thing? I feel like Lamar Jackson looked at the second, and there were 2 different halves. First half, he looked very composed, ready to go. You could see almost like an anger from him. He wanted this game to win bad. And then the second half, when it kind of fell apart a little bit, he started falling back on his same traits. G-Mike, what's your thoughts on how Lamar Jackson performed this game?
I think he performed great, man. I think he performed amazingly with the stuff that they were giving to him. It sucks when you're going out there and you're trying to play make and trying to get these receivers the balls. You're trying to run the offense. You're trying to get the running backs to get some yards on their rushes when your offensive line is not out there playing the way that they're supposed to be playing. They're supposed to be one of the top 5 offenses in the league. Yep. And they're out there playing like JV against varsity with the defensive line. That KC defensive line was looking crazy. They were looking like all of them were Pro Bowlers.
Yep.
Like, dude, it was bad. It was bad. And then that last drive that Lamar had to take.
Yeah, that's what I was
Ravens
going to say.
down
We
the
definitely got to get to that because that's kind of what I'm getting at. And I've always, my stance on Lamar is that I don't want him in the clutch. I think that he is probably the greatest athlete in his big 3.0 with his size and his speed. I just don't trust him when it matters.
But see,
he brought the ball down. He brought the ball down, and they literally the one pass that he should have got to.
So we're looking at right here. We're looking at right here the play that happened right here. This play was more Isaiah Likely than Lamar Jackson. The play was broken. They were so shocked that the ball even got out. I feel like that they kind of stopped even playing, and he was able to make the move. Great move at the end of there. But if you take that play away out of that situation, the Ravens got dominated.
Yeah, but then if you push back though on it a little bit, like you see, like when they're driving the ball down and they have to score. Literally, that last play of the game, great pass, perfect spot. The only thing that was not perfect about it was his receiver's position. Like if Likely was able to like toe tap it at the end there inside, like by the slimmest of margin, that's we don't know how that game is going to turn out. But that was again a great play by Lamar. Again, he's getting rushed left, right, and center. He's having to improvise and to make that throw that accurate. And again, if his receiver just kept his feet in, we got a whole new ball game.
But I don't even think that they got dominated. They lost by a touchdown. Like how did they get dominated? Like the defensive line and the offensive line.
Chris Jones was literally telling people to move out the way. I got this guy. I'm getting this guy. So Chris Jones by himself dominated them on the offensive line. I will give you the offensive line played like shit. I will give you that one.
Yeah.
That's without going on there. But I mean, that's what I'm kind of getting at, I guess, is that without that broken play that happened, that was like a 70-yard touchdown or something along those lines. What did the Ravens do offensively the entire game? I mean, they didn't do much. And I mean, granted, yes, the offensive line did play well, but Lamar Jackson was running around doing Lamar Jackson things, and I don't know. I just wasn't sold on the Ravens as much, and I think that offensive line is going to haunt them for a long time. And the other part it comes down to, I feel like, with what I was getting at with Lamar, is you take that last drive. Now, granted, that last throw when he scrambled out, and it was just by literally like a shoelace. Amazing play. Amazing. Absolutely cannot take that away from right accurate pass. But it took what about the passes prior to that where you had two wide open guys that you just flat out didn't make the throw? The offensive line actually did give him the time. Lamar Jackson panicked and overthrew him.
Well, one of them that you're talking about, the one to Likely, that was a horrible throw that should have been
there was two of them. There was back-to-back that he had the chance to do it with time left in the game.
No, the second one, he was getting pressured. He got rushed, and he had to throw the ball across his body to try to get it. And he explained it after the game. He said that he saw Bateman, and then right when he was about to throw the ball, he sees Zay, so he tried to change his trajectory, and that's why the ball went past Zay, and it didn't go in front of it. But even then, when you're a receiver and you get into the pocket like that you're wide open, that there's no one around you, you need to sit. Sit. Do not continue running, because if you continue running, then the quarterback has to shift himself and try to throw the ball to where you're running to, and next thing you know, the safety or the corner that's playing on the right side can come and get the interception. When you sit, it's easier to make the throw right into your numbers, and you're just going to be there catching the ball like if nothing happened. Easy play, easy touchdown, tie the game, go into overtime.
Yeah, man, my boy G Mike with that analysis right there, bro. I love it, man.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking out there. He definitely overthrew. He threw him over here, and this is the play you're talking about here. This was the if you're not watching on YouTube,
look, getting pressured, tries to throw it.
That one's a bad one right there.
Well, you don't see it there. You don't see it on that play. But
so maybe we got one. Here's another attempt here. They had 3 attempts here, and he's scrambled around.
Oh, this is the touchdown. This is the touchdown that they called back.
Yep. But see, my thing is, like, you see him scrambling around a lot. Like, how much of this, as far as the domination? Yeah, if you want to argue the Chiefs' D-line dominated the Ravens' O-line, for sure. But how much can you then put that on Lamar Jackson and say, like, oh yeah, no, like this is his, like, they're dominating and this is all on him? Like, dude, your offensive line's got to block for you. I don't care how great of a player you are. If they don't block and you're getting blitzed left, right, and center, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to win ball games. And it's going to look like, yeah, he got dominated. But then you look at everything else he did. The pass before that errant throw, it was a dime straight to him, and he's still getting blitzed and rushed left, right, and center. So it's one of those things where, like, I do get it. Like, as a team, like, you got to be able to dominate in the trenches. But, for what he had to do, I thought it was a great game by Lamar. And I think that, again, if certain plays go a certain way, just by a millimeter, by inches, it'll be a whole new ball game.
And just like how you alluded to earlier, Steve, like saying like how much cardio he be doing and all that. Imagine how tired he is at the end of the game, putting the team on his back, running around, trying to create plays.
Yeah.
First of all, if he's not doing that, they lose by 2 touchdowns, right? So he's putting the team on his back, and he's going down the field to try to do a game-winning drive, and he almost does it. They lose because of literally a big toe, just like Kevin Durant against the Milwaukee Bucks when he was playing in the Brooklyn Nets. And
it happens.
It happens. It's unlucky, bro. It happens. It's football. It's sports. It's unlucky. But just think about how tired he must have been in that drive to still go down the field and take his team to try to get him to the promised land.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm gonna. So I mean, are we gonna give people credit for being tired now and playing football? I mean, that one's. I don't buy it, man. If you have the opportunity, if the ball is down to us, it's the exact same scenario. Take the same 2 teams. Who do you feel more confident with getting that in there, Mahomes or Jackson? I'm going with Mahomes all day. I don't think Jackson's got it.
Quarterback, but he has a way better offensive line. You saw it in that game.
Yeah, I think as well. Like when it comes to like being clutch, and being like the best, being the better pure passer. Yeah, of course, I'm going to lean Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes is the best, bro.
But as far as Lamar not being clutch or somebody that I would never take in that situation, I would disagree. Like there's not many quarterbacks I would say in that kind of situation that I would trust with the ball in their hands outside of Lamar. Like Mahomes obviously is going to be everybody's choice, but realistically, like thinking like who,
Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Who else will do it?
Are we talking about clutch players?
Maybe
right now, the clutch
quarterback. I wouldn't put Lamar. Lamar's never been good in the clutch. Literally every playoff game, he's played like crap. Anytime they've needed it, he's played like crap. He is one of the most athletic players that's ever played. Absolutely. I'm not denying his talent. But when it comes down to it, every playoff game he's played like crap. And all of a sudden, without having that he would have made an amazing play there, but he had 3 other opportunities to make it and blew them. So I don't think Lamar's clutch. I think Lamar's a great quarterback.
The last time that they played KC, you're blaming that on Lamar?
I mean, he didn't have a great game.
Bro, they went away from the reason why they were so good running the ball. They only ran the ball 9 times. If you're not doing what you're great at, then your whole offense is gonna go kaput.
Yeah,
that's like if we're watching NBA game, we see the Lakers against the Warriors, right? And LeBron has been going crazy all season. Anthony Davis has been going crazy all season, and the role players have just been role players, right? They go up against the Warriors in the play-in, trying to get into the playoffs, and next thing you know, LeBron has a horrible game. What's going to happen? The Warriors are going to win, and the Lakers are going to lose because LeBron had a bad game. If the Ravens would have had a great game running the ball like they had all season long, even against the Houston Texans, they would have done that against KC that game. I think they win that game, bro. But they only ran the ball 9 times. How do you go from being the best rushing offense to only running the ball 9 times in the AFC Championship game?
Yeah, that's also like, just kind of also, maybe flip the inverse a little bit. That's like if you have the Warriors who are still relying on threes, you just tell them, just settle for mid-range. Oh yeah, just focus on driving in. It goes completely against the game plan. So.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make it clear that I'm not saying that I don't think Lamar sucks by any stretch. I'm just saying I just don't find him as a clutch player. I think he's going to probably win another 3 MVPs because he is a video game on the field. But I just don't think that he's going to maybe even get a ring, or I just don't think that I don't think he has that clutch mentality in it that he's going to be able to, when the bright lights are shining and you need it on him, I don't see it in him. Nothing against him, and not everybody does it. There's only X amount of Brady's in the world or Mahomes in the world that can actually do that. And let's face it too, I mean, there's a lot of good quarterbacks out there that have to go against Mahomes, and you don't want to give them time out there to do it. So, but do you find any rust, and honestly, any rust in the Chiefs? Because I know, Brandon, that you picked them to win the Super Bowl. Do you find any rust in their game?
I mean, maybe a little bit just here and there, but I mean, it
is week 1 though, so we have to say that as well. It is week one.
Exactly. Yeah. So they didn't look as crisp at times, but again, you basically you got to win at home. You're going up against a team that you played against the championship game last year. Like all the pressure's on, and they did what they had to do. Again, they won by the slimmest of margins at the end, but at the end of the day, win's a win. They just, they got to clean up some things on offense. You got to look a little more crisp at times. As great as the defensive line look, there's still some things that they could do to get better. So just a few smaller adjustments. I would just say more than anything, just more mental tweaks. And I think they'll be back to typical form.
Yeah, it's week 1, but I'll tell you what looked really impressive out there was Xavier Worthy and Xavier. Those two dudes just look extremely fast, man. I know you and like obviously they are, but you could just absolutely see the speed in Worthy whenever like he got that handoff and he got that open lane and just hit that 40-yard speed. Like that was absolutely amazing, dude. Those guys just flat out look freaking fast, man. Yep. And the NFL is just, I mean, what's wild is that these guys are just getting faster. Eventually, his record's gonna be broken as well. So like it's such a bright league, and we got a good thing going on. There's another huge game with a lot of implications that happened last night. For the first time in Brazil, and on the first time on a Friday night, which is usually reserved for high school football. We had some NFL as the Green Bay Packers took on the Philadelphia Eagles, and man, we had some big things come out of this one. The Eagles were able to pull off the win, winning at a score of 34-29. Excuse me, I lost train of thought there. At a score of 34-29, Jalen Hurts went 20-34 with 278 passing yards, 2 TDs, and 2 interceptions. Jordan Love, 17-34, 260 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 interception as well. But the star of the game had to be Saquon Barkley, 24 carries, 109 yards, 2 TDs, 2 receptions for 23 yards, and 1 TD. Now, the biggest thing that came out of this one, obviously, was the Eagles won, but Jordan Love got hurt. Man, G-Mike, what's your biggest takeaways from this one, man? Because these two teams have a lot of huge playoff implications, and, man, that is never good to see when Jordan Love goes down, man.
Yeah, no, it definitely sucks. Shout out to my boy Jay on IG comments. It's saying go Canes because it's always go Canes, baby.
A lot of you pride out there, man. A lot of you pride.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just on the game yesterday, man, from start to finish, bro, the Eagles looked horrible in those first 5 minutes on offense and defense. They looked horrible. There was a pick thrown by Jalen Hurts, and then there was a fumble by Jalen Hurts and Saquon at the same time. It was like a 0.5 on the stats, if you would.
Yeah.
But then after that, bro, they started picking up the ball. I guess there was like some talk on the sideline, and they started showing out. The Packers came out in the beginning of the game. They were showing that they're really well on offense with all those additions at the wide receiver position, bringing in Josh Jacobs, which he didn't have a great game. He had a decent game. But the RB2, Wilson, he was doing work. The way that he was patient and trying to get into them holes and bursting up the holes and bro, he was fast, man. No lie, that guy Wilson, hey, he might get that like 40% carry mark like in a few weeks, bro. So watch out for that for you fantasy football players out there. Dude, but just overall in the game, both teams look good. Defensively for the Eagles, their secondary was not playing as well against these Green Bay Packers receivers. The receivers look so fast. They looked like they were getting open too much. The route running skills were great, even though the field was wet and slippery, which we saw at least 5 to 6 times any player on any side slip.
Yeah, so that was a big topic of conversation. A lot of people did not like the field.
It's a soccer field, bro. So you can't wear the same cleats. You got to wear different types of cleats. That's what it is. And yeah, you're used to turf or you're used to the man-made grass that it is in America. That it's different. It's not the same type of depth of grass and all this stuff. So it is a different case for a lot of players out there. But nonetheless, both teams played really well. Obviously, Saquon Barkley was the star of this game, and we already knew that was going to happen, man. Like once they signed him, I think a lot of people went from saying that the Eagles weren't going to make the playoffs to, oh shit, the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, because Saquon Barkley is that dude. He made it known last night. He's going to make it known throughout the whole season. Yeah, he might even get Offensive Player of the Year. Watch out for that. So it's like both, like I said, both teams did good. Sucks that Jordan Love went down like that. He might miss next week. I really think he's going to miss next week. He might miss. The way
he went down, it looks like that might be a little bit of a lingering injury, man. That was such a shame, man. He was looking really good and poised too.
Yeah, 100%. But overall, good game on both sides. The Eagles just came out with it on top. I had the Packers winning in this, but I had a little 7-leg parlay that hit too, a little player prop parlay. So I'm feeling good about that.
Yeah, even if your pick don't hit, your parlays do. So there you go, man.
You know what I'm saying?
But you got to always have that insurance policy.
PC, man, what's your takeaways from this one, man? It was a hell of a game. Interesting.
It really was. Again, you hate to see Jordan Love go down, obviously, especially because of the big contract he just signed. But again, I think Green Bay is smart enough. They've learned from past experiences with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. They know, we got to take care of our golden goose. If that means we got to take a couple L's for a couple weeks, we'll be willing to do that. If it means that long term we're going to be fine. So I'm not worried about that at all. I will say though too, shout out on the defense. New Packers Xavier McKinney making an impact and an interception. You got Jair Alexander continuing to show why he's one of the best cornerbacks by getting one as well. So even in the loss, I think Green Bay still looked good. Obviously a lot of their weapons looking fantastic. Philadelphia, again, G might kind of hit it on it earlier. That defense, even though they didn't look as good as we thought, like they kind of should have been, they still did just enough to hold out and get the win. And then Saquon Barkley, making an impact. I think a bigger impact than I even anticipated, like at least, from the start of the year. If he plays like this, like the Eagles offense is going to be back to what it once was a few years ago. The rushing attack is back in Philly.
Dude, imagine Saquon Barkley went from a horrible offensive line to an amazing offensive line.
Yeah, agreed. And now, honestly, we all know I picked the Packers for the Super Bowl, so I'm going to shed a little light on them as well as that. Like, I think that it was week 1, so there was a couple of things that everybody obviously can clean up and tighten up a little bit. But I think with the Packers, I love their wide receiver core, and I love Josh Jacobs as well. So I think that's going to be a pretty good. Now, granted, obviously we all know Jordan Love went down. It's TBD. Malik Willis did not look prepared at all to be in there, but he also didn't expect to be in there. It was the end of the game. He obviously didn't practice as much, but I do love that the fact they have a lot of weapons. And let's not forget about it, man. At one point in time, Malik Willis was considered one of the top quarterbacks coming out of college. People were fighting over he could have maybe been number 1 overall in that draft. I don't see it now, maybe because he just got figured out. He did go to Liberty, a smaller school. Maybe he just balled out in that conference. But maybe that kid has a chance, but now because he's on a good team. Before he went to Tennessee, who had horrible offensive line, never really, I think, had a chance to do anything in Tennessee there. So I'm interested to see what he's going to be able to do if he has to take the reins for a little bit. I'm hoping that he's going to be able to be stable enough to just be able to ride it out. Unfortunately for the Packers, they're in such a competitive division with the Lions, the Bears, and the Vikings. So that they need to at least be able to maintain in that. Maybe not be able to take the NFC North, excuse me. And who knows how long Jordan Love's out, but they just need to be able to stay competitive. That's all they really need to do. I think if Jordan Love is able to come back, this team is built for a Super Bowl run right now. So I think that they have a chance. I wouldn't be all doom and gloom yet. I know that's never good going in there, but as my dad asked earlier, it's the question of the day on here too. Is the Super Bowl thoughts over for you guys for the Green Bay Packers?
If Jordan Love is out for the rest of the season, yes. If he comes back, no, I think they're still in it.
Yeah, I mean, looking ahead at their schedule too for the next 3 weeks, just like you've got, Colts. They're playing at home against the Colts, so that'll be, it's an improved pass or it's an improved defense. Especially Latu. So that's going to be interesting how Malik goes up against him. That'll be tough. That'll probably be the toughest game they have over the next 3 weeks because then after that,
thanks, buddy.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a compliment, but also kind of like, look at who they're playing.
Here's a backhanded compliment to my Colts. Thanks, guys.
It is. That's what we do here. Backhanded compliments and down bad debates.
There we go.
I mean, after that, though, after the Colts, you're going on the road against the Titans. So that one, even with Willis, he knows the team well enough to make
Willis revenge game, baby.
Yep. And then after that, you've got the Vikings at home, the most cursed team in the league right now. So, if there was a time to see Jordan Love go down, you probably want it now earlier in the season as opposed to later on.
Yeah, especially because it gives them enough time to maybe see what they have in Malik Willis, and hopefully he can ride the ship and kind of figure it out a little bit.
Got nothing in Malik Willis.
I mean, you really just need, I would say you probably just need one win out of those 3, maybe 2. And I think Willis can at the very least get you a win against the Vikings. Now, the Titans and Colts are going to be a toss-up, but at least Minnesota, you've got a shot with him.
Dude, Titans and Colts have great defenses. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Vikings defense is coming up. I think they're mediocre. Not at best, at least. But they're in the middle of the pack. So that could be a toss-up for sure. It's just that, dude, I don't believe in Malik Willis. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you don't.
Yeah, I mean, and also I kind of like what you were saying as well about that. It's better for this to happen in the beginning of the season than later on in the season. There are other viable options out there if they need to make a trade, if they need to make something. Give Willis maybe one or a couple games, see how it is. Hopefully, Love can come back sooner than later. Obviously, that's what you want.
Yeah.
But hey, G Mike, as I was a Cowboys fan, remember Cooper Rush? Cooper Rush went on that magical run that no other quarterback was doing at the time. So. I mean, it is possible that some of these guys are pretty good, just waiting on the opportunity. Do I see that happening? Probably not. But Malik Willis was mobile, and he can move around. So if that Packers offensive line can give him a little bit of time, anything is possible out there. So it'd be kind of cool to see what he can do. I know that's not what they want, but you have to deal with the cards that you're dealt with.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to win them a ball game. He doesn't have
to be the man.
Just be a game manager. That's all he has to do.
Hey, I hope he proves me wrong because I always want everyone to have success. I just don't believe in him.
No, I agree. It's not your ideal situation, but we haven't honestly seen this guy really play. Maybe he is a little bit better than we think. The last few plays that he did play at the end of the game doesn't really give you much hope, but you never know. He maybe just wasn't prepared, didn't have a long time, and the Eagles do have a good team, so it's not like he's playing against the JV team as well. So one last thing, I want to wrap this one up for this last game. Do you guys find it annoying about the Peacock exclusive? Because that's going to be the theme of this year, is that the NFL knows that people will pay wherever they want, and they can put games wherever. Netflix has a game. Amazon has a game. Netflix has 3 games this year. So that's extra subscribers you get to go to. Peacock has an exclusive. They're going to have an exclusive playoff game again. Do you guys find this annoying as hell for the fans?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, man. I mean,
streaming has been absolutely terrible for the average pro football fan.
Right, in a situation that was supposed to make things easier for everybody, that hey, get your one stop, one place. It's just become more of a nightmare because they know that everybody wants a piece, and the NFL everybody just writes checks to the NFL and say, yeah, we'll do it. We'll pay you whatever you want because we want that 1 week, 2 weeks to have it. It's pretty frustrating for the fans. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's always up for grabs when it comes to each game. Whoever puts the biggest bid going to get the game that week. And if it's Peacock, if it's CBS, if it's NBC, if it's Fox, if it's Amazon Prime, or if it's YouTube TV, the list goes on and on. No matter what, they're going to give it to them, and they know that the fans are going to go and watch it, either legally streaming it or illegally streaming it, no matter what.
I mean, it just forces people to go that route. So, yeah, man. So that's what was a great game, man. The NFL's got to be excited that they put a game in Brazil, and it worked out well, except the field conditions, which they can also make. Exactly. A lot of sports bars didn't have it either, so that was a big concern as well. So the NFL's really got to start thinking about that kind of stuff. When they start adding these other ones, it makes it difficult. Because a lot of people just go out to sports bars to go watch these games instead of sitting at home. So that's a major thing in which the NFL is in a lawsuit whenever they switched over from DirecTV as well. It keeps on going up and down with whether or not people are going to get it. If you do win the lawsuit, you're probably getting $1, maybe most, in which you end up blowing anyways. But
if I was them, just give all the games to Amazon Prime. Tell Amazon Prime to pay a huge bid because they know that they can. And bro, just run with it.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, doing that, you keep everything on one place, like you said you were going to do, and then it's just easier for fans overall, as opposed to having to buy like 20 different streaming services. Come on.
Yeah, in an ideal world, that's what they would do. But we all face it. Let's face it. We all know they're not going to do that for us. They love us, but they don't give a damn about us.
It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Money that makes the world go.
Well, that was the first 2 games of the season, and boys, we have an entire slate tomorrow. Yeah, we're looking on the screen here. If you're not watching on YouTube or anything, we have a full slate tomorrow and Monday as well. So it has been a hell of a week.
Sports gambler dream.
Oh my gosh, it's been such a week, exhausting, really. But all right, guys, well, let's go through this list here, and we're going to start making our own little picks here, and have our own little fun wagers for the season. Before we get started on that, is there any game of the week that you are really, really excited to see, and why?
You, Mike?
I'm excited to see the Jets and the Niners because last year we got a taste of Aaron Rodgers for the first 4 minutes of the game. Went down an Achilles tear. And for the whole season, he has not been back since. He didn't even play in the preseason. which makes sense. I agree to that. Don't play in the preseason. But Niners defense, Jets defense, top 2 in the league.
Yeah.
Jets offense, Niners offense. Niners, I would say maybe top 3, top 5 in the league. Jets, it's a big question mark.
Got Aaron Rodgers.
See, on paper, looks great. Top 10, top 15 for sure. But we got to see what it comes down to. Love that it's Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Be a lot of eyes on that, and I cannot wait.
2 of the biggest markets in pro sports on Monday Night Football. 2 of the best, 2 of the potentially best offense, like you said. 2 of the best defense. It's a worthy matchup to lead us off on Monday Night Football. So
to end week 1. Week 1. God, NFL, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, for me though, being the homer man, I gotta say Bucks and Commanders. I know it's not.
Dude, man.
Dude,
get out of here, bro.
I'm
what
excited.
Are you talking about?
I'm excited for Bucks football to be back, man. Like, come on, I got everything ready for Sunday, man. We got the shows ready to go. We got all the cameras set up, man. I got all my Bucks gear ready to roll. I'm about to be rolling up to Raymond James Stadium looking like I'm one of the players ready to ball out, man. It's going to be a fun time. The cannons are going to be firing left, right, and center. Bucks football, man. We back 2024, man. We going all the way.
Don't be watching the game, not even working the camera. Let's go. They're like, yo, we can't see anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool ones that's coming up here. One I am kind of interested to see is the Falcons and Steelers. I'm interested to see what this Falcons is all about. They made a lot of noise in the offseason with signing Kirk Cousins. I'm excited to see what Bijan's able to do. That guy is just absolutely electric. So finally, someone unleashing him to see what his full potential can be. I'm excited for that one. The Bears and Titans, man, it'll be pretty cool to see what those Bears are able to do. If Caleb Williams is the real deal, the hype. Roma Dunze, although Keenan Allen, when last I heard, we'll see what tomorrow, was maybe a little bit questionable with I believe it's a heel injury. So that'll be interesting. Say maybe Roma Dunze gets some extra shine out there. So that one's going to be kind of cool to see Caleb Williams and them boys out there. I am, of course, excited to see my Colts and Texans. And just for a couple of reasons. One, to actually see Anthony Richardson play some meaningful football. We've only got the chance to see him play probably about 90 minutes of football since he's been in the league. And then the Texans made arguably the second loudest team, if you will, in the offseason. Joe Mixon, getting Stephon Diggs, coming off that great year they had last year. So AFC South, and a very interesting game. In that one for many purposes, seeing what that new Texans look is like. So that's a couple of games I'm really excited to see coming up. And of course, I want to see my Colts get a win, but I understand that. Dolphins and Jags. That's gonna be a fun one too, man. I feel like that's gonna be probably the highest scoring game of the weekend. Both defenses are probably mid-level, somewhere in that area in there. And both offenses are pretty capable.
You just said
both offenses are willing and capable. So we'll go ahead and start from the top up here. We'll go ahead and start from the top up here with the Falcons and Steelers. We're going to make our picks and see what you guys agree out there. Or let us know in the comments, man. So I'll go ahead and start it off since I'm up top here. I'm going to take the Falcons to start off the season right and get the week 1 win.
Yep. I got the Falcons as well. I don't think the quarterback play for the Steelers is going to match the quarterback play for the Falcons.
Yep. Me 3, man. Going Falcons week 1.
All right, we got the Bears and the Titans. I'm going to go with the Titans in this one. Will Levis going to sling the ball around a little bit. The Bears defense, we'll see what that's like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence about it, really, but I want to lean towards the Titans just because of the experience that they have together and the chemistry they got together. We still got to see what Caleb Williams has in store.
Exactly.
I do think he's going to be a superstar, but I don't know about in week 1.
Correct, yep.
The Bears.
Good job. Interesting. That's different from everybody else. All right, separating yourself. I like it. All right, so we got the Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to reluctantly take my Colts. I think Anthony Richardson is going to come out and shine, but
I'm not even happy about it, man.
Yeah, right.
I'm not.
Come on.
Oh, man, you gotta be excited for your team, bro. What you mean?
Yeah, man. Gotta represent.
I got the Texans, but I wanna point out something. The Texans won the division.
Mm-hmm.
Almost took the Ravens for their money in the playoffs, and they don't get a home opener. Kind of iffy there.
That's an interesting point. NFL letting G Mike know, man, he needs to make that schedule for you. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
Let me know. I'll get paid millions to make a schedule.
Big C, what you pick?
I got me some of the Texans right down there, man.
Texans. I didn't.
Yeah,
hate it.
I think that makes the most sense, honestly. Let's face it. I'm taking my Colts still either way. All right, so then we got the Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to take the Saints for obvious reasons.
I'm taking the Saints to playing in the Georgia Dome, man. That's no way. I'm sorry. That's not what it's called, right? No,
I was with you.
Superdome.
It's the Superdome, but I was with you.
Superdome. Okay. Thank you.
The messed up thing is they're in division, so somebody might be pissed at you on that one.
Yeah,
whatever. I don't care. Hey, I'm gonna be wrong sometimes. If they're out there to correct me, I'm not gonna get bothered about it. I'd rather be corrected than look like an idiot.
They demolished the Georgia Dome a while back and replaced it with Megatron's butthole. So, like, Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
Tell me that stadium when I used to describe that. Tell me that roof does not look like that, man. And now you can't unsee it,
dude. Yeah. But that stadium is beautiful.
It is, man.
Beautiful.
I know somebody that used to work with the Rays. Now they're over there, and like they anytime I've talked to them about it, they said like, yeah, it's like probably the best, if not the best stadium. Like
100%. I've been to it.
The only downside is Chick-fil-A on Sundays. Come on, what are you doing, Atlanta? Come on.
There we go.
Anyway,
I'm guessing you're taking the Saints, right?
Yeah, man. Carolina's going to be back-to-back number 1 overall picks this year.
Yeah. All right, so now
they weren't last year, but
we're heading out west, man. We got the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm relatively high on the Chargers. I just like the new coaching staff in there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers too. I don't like the Raiders quarterback. And hot take for you guys out there: Devontae Adams will get traded by the trade deadline.
I like it.
I can see it. And me 3 for the Chargers.
All right, we got the Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns just because they're not playing at home. They're out there. They're playing at home too.
Yeah,
taking the boys, baby, taking the boys.
I'm gonna go Browns in this one because of that defense, man. I feel like they're gonna do just enough to rattle Dak and the boys on the
Cowboys don't play as well on the road. It's, if they was at home, then I would have switched the pick for sure. But Cowboys just don't play as well on the road.
In the dog pound, man.
So then we got the Los Angeles Rams and the Detroit Lions. I'm gonna go Detroit in this, but in a close game.
Yeah, bro. It's tough, man. I think I'm gonna go Detroit just because they're at home. Because playing in that stadium too, Ford Field, it's tough.
Jared Goff in a stadium, it's almost a
But I do think that Matthew Stafford is gonna shine again this season. I think that for Rams offense is gonna be elite.
Yep, Lions in Detroit, can't go against them.
All right, now we got the Arizona Cardinals and the Buffalo Bills. This game's gonna be kind of interesting to me, really, because I think both teams are in kind of odd spots.
Turmoil.
I'm really a toss-up in this one. On paper, you would think the Bills are going to win this one. I'm going to take the Bills, but yeah, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game as well. I'm going to take the Bills too.
Yep, Bills 3.
All right, we have the Cincinnati Bengals and the New England Patriots. I think this one's
easy.
Even without Case, I'm going Cincinnati in this one.
Yeah, bro, come on, Bengals all the way. The Patriots are probably going to be the number 2 overall pick.
I'm going to pick this one blindfolded.
There you go.
Bengals.
All right, so next one we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Miami Dolphins. I have the Dolphins going all the way to the Super Bowl this year, so I am taking the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins in this one too. I think that offense for the Jags still has a lot to work on when it comes to chemistry. So I think the Dolphins are already 10 steps ahead of them on that.
Dolphins.
Ooh, not bad. All right. So we have the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Jets, in which this game, I mean, did they have to play? I guess they have to. It's on the schedule. I'm going to go with the Giants.
That's tough, man.
For all the wrong reasons.
Tough, man. No lie. Guys, if you're betting on every single game, please stay away from this game.
Yeah.
Do not bet on this game because it could go either way, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pick the Vikings, man. I'm going to pick the Vikings.
BC?
Oh, gosh. This pains me to have to make a pick. Not because, I like either team, just because both teams are
both teams are just ass. The cocky.
Oh, gosh. I'm gonna say, as cursed as we've said the Vikings have been this year, I feel like it's Danny Derps and the Giants. I'm gonna go with Minnesota just because.
All right, so we differ on that one again. All right, cool. All right, so now next one we got is the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. You know, I love the Seahawks wide receiver core, but I'm going to pull. Maybe it's an upset. I'm going to go with Denver.
Oh, okay. I got the Seahawks, man. I mean, they had good momentum last year. They're doing pretty well, and that 12th man in Seattle is no joke. I got the Seahawks.
I'm gonna go with the upset on this one. I'm gonna say Bo Nix has been
That
playing
was
good
kind of my thoughts too.
season. You know, I feel like if they're, you know, we had that. It's like a rematch from a couple years ago with Russell Wilson. I think that it's going to be so interesting to see Bo Nix do what Russell couldn't and win in Seattle. So I'm gonna pick the upset here just for fun and go with Broncos.
Me too.
Wilson did win in Seattle. What you talking about, man?
Man, I'm talking about though, like when he goes.
Come on,
man. You know what I mean? Win on the road in Seattle, man.
Yeah,
we got the Washington Commanders with the rookie sensation of Jaden Daniels making his debut against them Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels having a hell of a game, and the Bucks are going to win.
I got the Bucks for sure. I think that defense is just going to corral Jaden Daniels. I think he'll throw 150, 180, but one touchdown, one interception, and the Bucks are going to win by a touchdown and a field goal.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think looking into a lot of like the experts, I think like the over under is like 3 points for this game. I don't know why it's even that close. Like
it's week one though. I feel like most games are like that.
Yeah, that's true to an extent, but I feel like and you know, it's funny. I saw some research on this. Like they said, like Todd Bowles is terrible against rookie quarterbacks, which recently that's been the case. But I think I saw a stat that said he was like 10-5. So it's not bad, but it's not great.
Hey, shout out to Todd Bowles for showing some emotion in the
positive direction. 10-5. What do you mean?
Well, no, but I mean, like, shoot, if I'm going up against rookie quarterbacks, you better be like 14-1, man, not like 10.
I mean, is that it's tough because you don't know what to expect, really. Like you don't know what they're gonna pull out of a hat and be like, "Yo, you never seen this before." Boom.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying. You never really know. So
yeah. But that being said, though, I got Bucks winning pretty comfortably at home in this one.
Yeah, and BC, I'm sure you might have been a little excited. How about a shout out to old Todd Bowles for actually showing some emotion during a press conference for once and not being the most boring man on earth, man. Shout out to him for that. That was hilarious, man.
I had to run it back a few times and be like, wait, what?
Yeah, that was a pretty funny press conference. If you got a couple minutes, check it out on YouTube, man. All right, so we have our last pick. We didn't go in any kind of order here, by the way. So we have the Jets and the 49ers, and this game is going to be a lot of fun. Great watch to see out there. So I'm going to go with San Francisco, but I'm going with San Francisco. Yep.
Yeah, I got San Francisco for sure. At home, you don't know what the Jets are going to bring on offense with Aaron Rodgers. And the Niners been clicking the last 3 years and almost won the Super Bowl. I mean, I got Niners for sure.
I got Niners too, but I think if there was one game that was worthy of that 3-point margin that most of these games are getting, I would say it's this one for sure. It's going to be close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we wrapped up all those picks. I got one more question for you guys in here. Out of these games in here, do you guys want to pick one upset of the week that you could see happening? I'll start it off since I brought it up for you guys. Arizona over Buffalo could be my upset of the week.
Okay.
Tough because it's week one.
I'll say the Rams, bro. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think that the offense is going to be elite, and you know the Rams have been there before, man. You know, just a few years back, they won a Super Bowl. So.
Yeah. I got to go with Bo Nix on the road in Seattle. I think that the momentum that he's riding from the preseason, I think could carry over into week one. And, you know, I think Seattle could be sleeping on him a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think all those are pretty cool picks. Honestly, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up for week one. We're going to continue our tally and take a notice of all of the games that we picked. We're going to make some fun wagers throughout the season on who comes in last, who comes in first, etc. If you guys have any ideas on some wagers or however you think we should play this out with our upsets and everything. So we had a great time. Thanks for everybody for shouting us out on online and on live. Any of the comments and people that's out there, please like and subscribe so we can continue this going for you guys. We truly appreciate it. G-Mike, you got anything for the people?
Yes, sir. Guys, we're going to try and make this a 2 episode a week thing. Tuesday or Wednesday nights before we go on the radio show, Wednesday nights at Peace in the Streets Radio, and then Saturday morning. So if you're able to tune in, support, like, subscribe, please help us out. Truly mean a lot to us. We appreciate you. And always write in the comments because if you see, we'll mention you in the show. So You want to come in and talk some smack, or you want to ask some questions? Bring it on, baby.
Yeah, man.
BC, got any closing remarks for us, man?
I was just gonna say too, like if your comments are good, like and you guys want to be on the show and stuff like that, hit us up. Like we'll bring you guys on. We love the back and forth, not just in the comments section, trading barbs there, but you want to be on the show. You want to talk with us, engage with us, man. That's what we want. Like we want to make sure that we're all fans here. We're all love sports. We don't want to just like keep up that that brick wall that's usually between a lot of like the shows and hosts and stuff like that and the fans. Like, we want to make sure
like Deadpool, we're breaking the fourth wall.
Exactly. We're all fans here. We're all talking sports. That's what we want to do. So we want you guys to be a part of this with us. So
and go Canes, baby.
There we go.
Go Canes.
Horns up.
All right. For Views from the Stands, I am Steve Brennan. We got G Mike and we got BC, and we are out, and we will see you guys next week. Be safe out there.
Peace.
Horns up.